This September, we here at HMP have put together an amazing month. 5 great movies, all involving a theme. And wouldn't you know it, he ain't even here to see it. We're doing it anyway. Go ahead and just roll the clip. Welcome to Half-Ass Movie Podcast. Welcome to Sean Loves Spaceships Month.
This week, sir. You have outdone yourself.
I go through all of this work, and the son of a bitch doesn't even show up to the show. How do you like that?
Great, good, perfect artwork. You put that together, the whole sequence, the music. It's like the right amount of effort. Like you gave an effort, but not too much effort.
Yeah, it's like it's just right enough effort. I did this during some off times while I'm a substitute middle school teacher.
I love it.
I drew all this up and honestly, it kind of just all came together.
Can I please request an encore presentation of the whole segment?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Let's roll her from the top here.
Oh, so perfect.
It's just
fun. Man, the problem is my feelings are going to be hurt if you don't do something like that for me on Spooktober.
Listen, you don't want to see what I've got for you because while I was doing this, I actually came across. Let me tell you, I'll put this. I'll put this right now. We get 5 likes on this, and I will show what I've got.
5 likes. That's it, guys. That's how low the bar is.
The bar is so damn low, you don't even know. But I was scrolling through the other stuff that I had, and when we came across the original Dirty Babies theme and everything for the podcast and whatnot, I drew, the OG Dirty Baby that we all know and love today. But then I also drew another Dirty Baby that was based upon Bruce.
Give us those likes, guys. I got to see Dirty Baby Bruce.
It's a little animated version of Bruce and a raccoon.
I love it.
I wish I was joshing you, but that's 100% true. It is Bruce and a raccoon.
I can't wait to see it. Someday it will make its debut.
Listen, honestly, of all people, we should have already made it a T-shirt. You alone would have been, you would have bought one for sure.
or 5, one for each day of the work business week.
But yes, we will be. I wanted to put it up today, but there was too much going on, and we're doing the show earlier than we initially anticipated. But there will be Sean Loves Spaceships merchandise for you to purchase as well. So there's going to be some swag. Perfect. There's going to be some stickers and a T-shirt and maybe a print or something like that.
I'm gonna get a sticker, man. I like that. I've been putting stickers on my desk here, and they really keep me going.
Yeah, I got my Apple box that I put all my stickers and stuff on, so that's where I'm gonna get mine and put it on there. So like whenever I have a YouTube video, you can see his little face there in the background.
Oh man, I've got a sticker that simply depicts my favorite local breakfast sandwich on my desk.
Well, I mean, I don't think anyone in here is going like, I think he's a liar.
Yeah, it's my Thundering Herd biscuit. It's a good biscuit.
Well, listen, props for the Thunder Biscuit people. Well, this month, everybody, we are back, and we put together half-assed excuse to watch movies. I think I went through all that crap. Sean Loves Spaceships Month, and of course, your boy couldn't even come to the table. That's just pretty much it. So it's me and Bruce. But don't worry, we got a very interesting movie here for us. We got Galaxy Quest. And Bruce, this is the first time for you. And you, I think, if I'm not mistaken, we're the one that actually brought this up and said, hey, this is what I want to do.
Well, I mean, whenever we have a topic, the first thing I think of is, how can I double book myself, as it were? How can I multitask? How can I watch a movie for the show, but also watch it for me? Plus, that way, I think you take a little bit more out of it sometimes when you're given a review of a first watch. Versus, I've got all these feelings from the past versus my feelings now. So it's just, I enjoy it. So I thought I want to bring something I actually will look forward to seeing because the main movie, and I won't pull it out, but the main movie for the month is one I also haven't seen but wasn't looking forward to. So this was like putting a little sugar in the tea kind of thing. But it just happens to play out. I don't think I realized I had a deficiency in big two franchise sci-fi, but I think I have a big deficiency in sci-fi because I haven't seen any of these movies this month.
That's what's wild.
I would identify myself as somebody who likes sci-fi. There's a whole lot out there for me to explore. So I brought this to the table because I wanted there to be one new thing that I was excited about. Turns out I'm excited about the whole month because the thing you brought out with Sean Connery, that one has, I can't believe I haven't seen that already. It sounds like something I would have watched and talked to my friends about and stuff. And then everything that you brought up one at a time. You have to remind me what some of them are as closer. But I haven't seen any of them. So this is going to be an interesting month. I'll get to be the newbie on every single film.
It's pretty sweet. And Sean hasn't seen our next week's movie and everything. So we're going to kind of keep rocking and rolling and doing weird and interesting stuff. And that's, again, I love that you get the opportunity to see this movie of all the movies kind of for the very first time, especially given I think even the 25 years from when this movie came out and everything, I think the movie can mean even more now.
Let me ask a dumb question. Are we doing the show right now or is this the pre-show?
This is the show. We're in it.
Okay. Just for some reason, we kind of blended right.
Well, it's right, because it's not the normal
intro. Once I saw the Sean
music.
Loves Spaceships logo twice, once I watched that whole thing twice, it erased my memory like Men in Black getting the flash thing in front of your face. So I couldn't remember if you introed the show or if we were prepared to intro the show. So I didn't know if I needed to save it.
Either way, it's amazing. I'll take it.
I don't need to save it. I want to tell you why I've never watched Galaxy Quest before.
Okay.
Couple of reasons, but number one, it seemed to embrace more of a TNG aesthetic than a TOS aesthetic when we're talking about Star Trek. And I have, especially back, what was this, 99?
99.
Yeah, so back in the 90s, I still carried some negative baggage with TNG. There was a weird, bristling between TOS fans and TNG fans. It was stupid. But anyway, because of that turned me against a little bit. There was also a part of me that was worried that this was just going to be like Tim Allen making fun of sci-fi fans, making fun of the kind of people that go to conventions, and that they was going to be laughing at this particular group instead of a story to lift up this particular group. So there were a lot of reasons why I didn't watch it at first. Then by the time when you start to hear people that do like it and you think I should watch it, but it's, 6-7 years old by then. And then it's just never top of your list to do. And this gave me a good excuse to put it to the top of the list, and I got to watch it.
One of the problems, though, really is it's a very difficult film to advertise. Because how do you really sell what this movie is to people in under 2 minutes? It's a tough, weird sell. And if you're not ready to kind of accept that, I feel like we are more so today to accept something like that. But back then, I still think that people were still kind of like, what even are we doing right here? And then we'd go on to have something like Hot Fuzz do kind of basically the same sort of idea here, is like these fake guys are now having to, become the real people and all that sort of stuff.
Well, I think that because of that limitation is probably how I got the wrong idea, because all that the trailer tried to communicate the key point that, what if aliens thought that the Star Trek actors were actually space people? I don't know what you call them. Space Patrol, Space Rangers,
Space Ranger.
I mean, it is Buzz Lightyear we're talking about here, right? So
sure.
It is a Space Ranger or Lightning Brigade. I don't know what they were called. Anyhow. Yeah, in a trailer, all they can do is say, hey, this is our high. And a lot of high concept movies, particularly made around that time, they didn't really put a lot of effort into having heart or a good story sometimes beyond the high concept.
Yeah.
But that's what it communicates is a high concept movie where aliens mistake actors for the real deal.
Well, we will definitely get into all of this. But before we do want to say a giant thank you to the folks that support us over at patreon.com/HMP. Those awesome folks get pre-show, post-show, and the Dinger Zone. But today's Dinger Zone is actually going to go on this live stream. If you're on our Facebook Live right now, we're Facebook, YouTube. We're a whole bunch of places right now. So if you're on that stream, continue on that after this show, because we're going to be doing a special Dinger Zone. Bruce and I got out to the movie theater to see the new Toxic Avenger movie starring Peter Dinklage and Kevin Bacon. And that's a real thing that happened.
It's so good.
So we are going to talk about that and spoilerific and all that kind of good stuff. And we're going to We'll chop it off the end of this podcast once the live stream is done here and everything, and then we'll put that actually Dinger Zone up in a video form in the final edit or full edit form as we do with the regular HMP show afterwards, so we can have that up as a nice kind of standalone review there for folks that just kind of want to see our review of Toxic Avenger, because I think we're going to have a lot of fun things to say about that as well.
Oh, yeah.
So do all that kind of good stuff, and while you're there, man, why don't you drop on by and do us? We got our Portress Bucks over here.
Portress Bucks.
That's right. If you want to drop a super chat in there of $10 or more, that's the Portress Bucks. If not, or you want to go a little bit lower than that, don't worry, we got you poor people too.
Portress pennies, watch how they shine.
The most evil thank you in the world.
Sean plays like he doesn't love it, but like, let me tell you something. He turns it up when he's at the house. He keeps bugging me for the Atmos mix, and I'm like, I don't know how to do that, buddy. And I'm like,
I'm telling you, you play that song in reverse and it unleashes a voodoo curse. We've all established that that was created by what's that famous voodoo witch from New Orleans, Madame LaRue or something.
All I remember was that was in Trick or Treat, the one with Gene Simmons and Ozzy Osbourne, where they play the record backwards and stuff. That's pretty much what that sounds like.
I was thinking Erykah Badu's character in Blues Brothers 2000, that beloved legendary.
Oh yeah, get that one too. Hey, man, since this here show's on YouTube, we got other stuff on YouTube as well. I got a review coming up. I have to do it this weekend because I've been putting it off for too long, and I need to put it. That's why I'm saying it right now here out loud, to make myself accountable for the things that I have to do and put on the slate here and everything. You know how it is sometimes, right? You just got to put yourself under the gun.
You've got to make it come to life in the real world, or else you don't make it come to life.
I'm somebody that you got to put me on a deadline. If you just kind of give me free reign, I'm just going to run with the wind, dude. I got to be like, you got to be like, hey, it's due by Friday. And then I'll be like, all right, we'll get it done. Even if I get it done in the last minute, I'll get it done. But I need the deadline in order for me to get rolling. So I've now instilled that here on the podcast. So that was more for me than you guys.
That's the toughest part of trying to run your special interests in a professional manner. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because you get to do whatever you want, but you have to actually follow through with what you do.
Son of a gun. And check out TikTok Trash Tuesday. Every Tuesday, I've done 10 in a row now, where I go on movie TikTok, pull out any kind of movie TikToks related that I see, and I watch about like 5 to 6 seconds of most of them. I don't watch the entirety of them, and I watch them with you live on stream here and everything. And I usually take about 40 minutes worth of TikToks and stretch it out to 2 hours with my blather. So,
wow.
Listen, I got to have stuff. And so then I use that to chop up to put on all of our social medias and stuff like that. And that's on the YouTube and stuff. So if you want to even see small snippets of that and not have to watch 2 bloody hours of it, look at all of our shorts and stuff, because I got a lot of shorts that come from those TikTok Trash Tuesdays. So you don't have to watch the whole thing. Go watch all the shorts and stuff like that. Like and subscribe and all that bull crap. That's what I want, man. More eyeballs, damn it.
Fun stuff on your TikTok too.
We like it. So thank you guys for all of those supporting this here program. And again, as always, patreon.com/HMP. Love you so very much. Let's get into it, Bruce. We are covering Galaxy Quest. Let's hit the old IMDb here. As we know, IMDb always 100% correct in everything they say and or do. The alumni cast of a space opera television series have to play their roles as the real thing when an alien race needs their help. However, they also have to defend both Earth and the alien race from a reptilian warlord. Little bit wordy there, IMDb. You're not wrong. It's not wrong, but it's a little wordy.
I would say you just take that reptilian word out. You get the same thing across with fewer syllables.
Yeah. I mean, listen, listen, it's for IMDb, I'm going to say 5 out of 10. 5 out of 10 for them.
Well,
it's about their
actually,
average.
IMDb, if you understand the lore of the animal species, they were evolved from insects and not reptiles.
Idiots. This is written by David Howard, who first wrote the screenplay on spec. This was a spec screenplay. He had no prior experience with anything. It sold big time. People really, really liked it, but it was not this movie that you actually see here, because that was then given to, they were just told the idea of the story to Robert Gordon. He wrote Addicted to Love with Meg Ryan and Matthew Broderick, which, by the way, is a Griffin Dunn movie. Did you know that?
I had no clue.
That's really, I was like, wow, he directed that. Interesting. After Galaxy Quest, he then wrote Men in Black 2 and the screenplay for Jim Carrey's Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events. Not a bad thing for our writer here.
Did you say the movie or the series?
The movie, the Jim Carrey movie.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
A personal favorite of the Shaughnessy family. Too
It's a
bad
good
he's
one.
not here to plug it.
Poor guy. This was directed by David Parasot, I think is how you say that. He did get this, man. Here's this guy's resume. He did everything from Reading Rainbow to Northern Exposure and ER.
That's what you call a journeyman right there. That is a journey.
Then he did Fun with Dick and Jane with Jim Carrey.
Oh, yeah.
Red 2. Bill and Ted Face the Music, just a ton of TV, including like Justified, The Good Wife, Modern Family, Monk, the Patrick Warburton version of The Tick and everything. Huge TV guy. Like, I mean, he's one of these cats that I'm sure was making far more money directing television stuff than he would have ever been making, directing television or movies, big movie theaters and stuff. Though he does still do some movies every now and then.
Man, I love directors like that. I just imagine what an interesting person they had got to be in real life to have that kind of range as a director.
Yeah, it's like, I'll just go anywhere and do anything. I don't care. Why not?
There's no conversation that pops up that they haven't directed similar situation.
It's like, well,
whether you're battling aliens or trying to tie your shoes, they've done it on screen.
We need somebody to direct a Rizzoli and Isles. Quick, get them out.
We need him for the spinoff Rizzoli time. No more Isles.
Isles is dead in this spinoff.
Isles is a whore.
This is starring.
I don't even know which one is Eyes, but
they're all Isles as far as I'm concerned. This is starring Tim Allen, Sigourney Weaver, Alan Rickman, Tony Shalhoub, Sam Rockwell, Darren Mitchell, Enrico Colast. I can never pronounce his last name correctly.
It's pronounced Palazzo, Enrico Palazzo.
Ah, my fault. Missy Pyle, Rainn Wilson, and Justin Long, and of course, many, many more. Like I said, this is a first timer for Bruce here and everything. And Bruce, what a fantastic time actually for us to be reviewing this movie, as this is Labor Day weekend, this is Dragon Con weekend.
Oh, it is Dragon Con weekend, man. I've already seen some photos and video, and plenty of people paying homage to that classic carpeting. From which hotel had that carpet that was so famous?
The Marriott carpet, absolutely.
Yeah, the Marriott carpet still featured heavily in cosplay.
It's pretty awesome. I don't know what it is, but for whatever reason, every year that I don't go is the year that the weather's fantastic.
Yeah, such beautiful weather right now.
It's disgusting. Every time that I go, it is absolutely sweltering, and you can walk around in like short sleeves and even shorts, and you're just like burning up. How you can look over and there's some cat in a Jedi robe. You'll have no idea in the world. It's just sweating your guts out. But now when I'm not there, beautiful. Just walk around Atlanta in beautiful 85-degree weather. What the heck is going on, man?
I haven't been to Dragon Con since the Legionnaire scare.
Yeah, that was, fun times over there. But we've actually HMP Volume 1. We did a panel over at Dragon Con for Fantastic Four and Preacher when that show was on the air.
I think we did a couple of Preacher shows there, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Or was it no? I can't remember. We did one Preacher show, and maybe a couple of years we did HMP is what it was.
Yeah, I think we had at least 2 years at HMP, and then we did all kinds of stuff. But we've gone to a lot of these things. So like, I don't know about you, but while watching this movie, especially this weekend of all weekends, it felt kind of awesome. Like looking back and just kind of remembering those times and how very much it's always been like. You tell me if you've had it, like, because I've been a little bit more than you have, but you've been to other different cons around the country and stuff that I clearly haven't been to. But isn't it always kind of a weird feeling where it's just like you will see some of the coolest stuff you've ever seen in your entire life, and then like half a turn later, you just go like, oh, what am I doing here? What's wrong with me?
Dragon Con is by far the most eclectic convention I've ever been to. It's my favorite because it's the only one I've went to that's literally 24 hours a day. The party don't stop. It's the only one I went to with all the film screenings, that it has. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's like got nothing to do at 3 a.m. on Sunday. You just pop in and watch some anime. There's anime movies being screened. It's my favorite because I like so many different things. So you got your a lot of authors there, sci-fi authors, fantasy authors in particular. You were there with me when I chatted up this one indie author I liked. who was drunk off his ass.
Well, that's Dragon Con for you, baby.
Yeah. And,
I saw Mitch Piletti walking
Butcher.
around drunk up top on the top floor of the Marriott one year. So it happens to everybody, you know?
Yeah, I got to meet Jim Butcher at a screening of a Dresden Files fan film. I mean, so much of everything, plus all the comic book stuff is there, all the movie stuff, tons of horror stuff. We were part of the horror track when we did the Preacher podcast, and I love that. I mean, it's just writers meet comic book artists, meet TV stars, meet movie people, meet Dungeons and Dragons. I got this whole gaming section where I've always go and play D&D when I'm at Dragon Con. It's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm all of a sudden about to get emotional about not being at Dragon Con this year. But boy, it's my favorite. I've only been twice, I think, but it's my favorite convention, hands down. I've been to New York Comic Con. I've been to Emerald City Comic Con. Never been to San Diego, but I get the idea I would be disappointed a little bit.
Yeah.
Dragon Con, no disappointment.
No, because it is so different and wild and like still kind of like I say indie, even though it's like 80,000 plus people.
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel as like kind of soullessy corporate as I think a San Diego Comic-Con feels or something like that.
Yeah, the best pure comic book convention is always going to be Heroes Con. But if you just want an awesome genre weekend, man, you can't beat Dragon Con because it's got everything: sci-fi, fantasy, comics, novels. I mean, anime, steampunk, cryptids, ghost hunting, anything. It's all there.
So we're familiar with a little bit of this stuff, and like we start the movie out in this kind of convention hall in here and everything. And who do you figure, like just out of a quick guess, who do you figure our Tim Allen characters kind of modeled after, more or less?
I mean, it's funny because he's Kirk, he's William Shatner.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's like with his portrayal, you can tell he also studied a little Patrick Stewart with the posture he takes when he's in the captain's chair and the helm.
Well, I'm gonna really blow your mind on this one, because you know where he actually got the posture in the chair from? And
where?
This story actually comes from Tim Allen talking about how years later he would actually meet with Shatner and everything. And Shatner was like a big fan. He liked it. He thought the movie was really great. And he's just like,
cool.
He's like, and obviously we all know Shatner is a big, egomaniac and everything. So it's like, yeah, you were doing me. And he was just like us, with the sitting there and everything. And Tim Allen goes, well, actually, I was doing Yul Brynner while I was that sitting in the seat there. It's like very King and I kind of like,
yeah, I see it now.
It's, and I was like, and he said, Bill was so disappointed. He was mad that it was just like, oh, was it all me? It's like, well, no, there were certain things that certainly clearly I kind of stole, from you and everything like that, but it wasn't just you. But that burnt Shatner a bit that it wasn't like,
with
not
the
me.
reputation that Shatner has, I'm surprised that he didn't just say, oh, you were able to read my performance because I too was channeling Yul Brynner from The King and I. I was not the king of Siam. I was the king of the United Federations of Planets, baby.
Same basic sort of thing. It's one level deeper. That's all it is.
If only he had said he was doing Zap Brannigan, then I would have been there.
But so I don't know. For me, it's fun kind of seeing this world and having this real kind of what I would call one of the more actual human moments in Tim Allen's career here and everything. And this is sort of based upon like mildly the scenario that we walk into where he's at the convention and whatnot. And he has to go to the bathroom. And of course, he's given his whole big performance and everything. They've cut him off, but he ends up going into the bathroom. And there's 3 Klingons that are standing at the urinals, which the writer themselves said when they went to a Comic-Con, that's what happened to them. And they were like, well, that's going in the movie. But he's like, it was worse than in real life because they were speaking Klingon to each other.
Now, with Sean not being here, he, of course, is our sketch comedy veteran, right? We call him that with the perch and everything, our sketch comedy veteran. But I'm sure he would point out that William Shatner guest appearance on SNL where he plays himself at a Star Wars convention interacting with the fans as maybe being an inspiration on this. It's probably from the late 80s, and, this is 10 years later.
Yeah. But it all still rings true, and you see it when you're there at actual conventions and stuff like that. There is something that's nice that these people are still kind of getting recognition for what they've done in the past and stuff like that. But also, at the same time, there is something that's a little bit sad about it. It's like these people are past their prime here and everything, and like this is the only vestige of sort of stuff that they've got going on. And then there's some people that have like big grandiose ideas that they're bigger than they ever were. One of the funny ones that we always remember was like our first Star Wars Celebration 3. We went up and there was a guy who played Rick Ollie in episode 1. For whatever reason, and you know what Rick Ollie, who that is, right? No, you don't.
I'm not sure
exactly.
I do.
No, Sean might. Sean might know who Rick.
Okay, I'm just going along with the story, man.
Exactly. So exactly, that's my point. Rick Ollie was one of the guys who piloted one of the the princess's ships or whatever. He wanted 2 tickets worth, which was like $20. $20 for, we called him 2-ticket Rick. It was like a guy who just has this like big and giant inflated ego. It's just like, you were in the movie for 30 seconds. What do you mean your autograph is $20? Get out of here, bud. It was ridiculous. But there are people that are like that everywhere. And then, but him kind of going into that stall there and everything and hearing the dudes who, by the way, are not there for that particular convention, only to just kind of drag on everybody there, which again, I've also seen at Dragon Con where like people can walk through the hotel and stuff. And there's people that are there in town for a football game that are walking through, talking trash and everything about what's going on there. So that's a real thing that happens. But man, when you get into that, it's the weirdest thing I've said this week, but when you get in that stall with Tim Allen, man, he gives a great acting performance, dude. He really is being torn up by what he's hearing there and everything. And like, you forget that he's just the goofy dad from Home Improvement.
I didn't know the Tool Man had it in him. And I'm just going to go ahead and like full confession. Never been a massive fan of Tim Allen's work or his acting. Don't really know much about his the personal side of his life. I know some people maybe get pulled into that side of things, but to me, it's like Home Improvement. I liked it at first, and then I kind of lost interest, and I never really saw him do much else. So I don't have a strong opinion of the guy. I watched Wild Hogs, thought he's fine in that movie for what it was, and but this is a side of him I haven't seen.
Let me tell you something. One of the wildest parking lots I ever walked into was the night of Wild Hogs. There were so many. I don't forget what movie my brother and I were going to go see, but we walked in, and the amount of bikes that were there for Wild Hogs was unbelievable. Every white person with a motorcycle within a 50-mile radius must have been at this movie theater. It was amazing.
I love it. It's like Starship Troopers level of like blatantly making fun of your very audience.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah. And they're just like, yep, that's us. Pretty much. You're dead on there, pal. And that's what this movie feels like. It's like a dead on with all of the nerds and stuff that are in this. And when we get our fake nerds coming, well, what we find out are, later to be aliens and everything that are coming up and stuff. What a great performance that Enrico's given here. I know him mostly from Just Shoot Me from back in the day. That's my kind of a touch point with him.
Which one are you talking about?
Your main alien there,
Just Shoot Me.
Grebthar.
Oh, he was from Just Shoot Me. I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
I used to watch Just Shoot Me, but I didn't recognize.
Well, he was
Crystal's
bald.
Wigs. I didn't recognize Missy Pyle at first either.
Yeah, exactly. And
Rainn Wilson. Rainn Wilson, I expected to have a much bigger role considering who he came to be, but he's almost no lines in this. It seems like.
I think he's got 4 or 5, but he's like he looks like he's 17. He looks so young in this movie.
The whole time I'm watching it, though, do you know who I'm thinking would have been a perfect member of that alien race? I'm not sure if it would have been old enough at that point in time, but if Bill Hader doesn't kind of look like one of those Thermians or whatever they're called, just like naturally.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He would be keen for that all day long. I would say he was probably
perfect for it.
Yeah, he's probably just a little too young for this. He'd look more like Justin Long than
than
Rainn
Justin
Wilson.
Long. Pretty good in this movie, man.
This is one of his first ones here and everything. Speaking of which, again, more weird convention stuff. So dig this. This is 1999, and in 2003, was it 3? I think it was 3. Whenever Star Wars Celebration 3 was, whenever the episode 3 came out, they did that whole Seth Rogen movie, which Seth Rogen wasn't a person at that point, not of huge note. It was like Seth Rogen and him and a couple other guys. They did with that movie where they went in to go try to, get the kid with cancer to see episode 1. You remember that? I forget what it's called. Damn it.
Episode 1?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was episode 4. Anyway, I don't remember the name.
The whole idea was they were like breaking into Lucasfilm there because their friend had cancer and they wanted to see Star Wars episode 1 before he died. And
it's not super fans, but it's something like that.
Fanboys.
Fanboys, that's it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I had to dig through the archives. I saw it and got it and everything. But they showed like a trailer and stuff for that, and it got delayed a couple of years and whatnot. But like until kind of really before those guys, once they kind of started becoming a thing, they were like, okay, maybe we can release this. But Justin Long and Seth Rogen and stuff were at that panel. You wouldn't know who they are. Now looking back, it's like, oh, look at all of these kind of future stars that were at this stupid Star Wars panel that like 75 people maybe were at.
Oh, that's awesome.
Cool times. Same thing happened with Robot Chicken that year. Robot Chicken, there was nobody, like, no one was there. It was like in a small little conference room. There was no one in there. And as I was leaving, Dennis Murin passed me. And I was like, what?
That's some of the funnest things about conventions, though. You never know who you're on an elevator with. You never know you're going to be next to at the urinal. It's goofy, but it's also kind of surreal, you know?
Yeah. Captain Jack from
you're on an
Doctor
elevator
Who.
with you're on an elevator with the original Hulk, right? Didn't you get on a Vader with Lou Ferrigno?
Oh yeah, Lou Ferrigno. Lou Ferrigno's something else, boy. That's a cat and a half right there. I won't even go into half of those stories. But him and Mitch Pileggi were talking about like exercise routines.
Oh man, what a shocker, pun intended.
I like to do this for my belt, for my delts and stuff. And you're like, what are you even talking about, dude? So what do you think about the kind of this is just the nerd part question, the thing that Sean would get bananas about, and he's not here, but that's why I'm doing it. What do you think about the aspect ratio change? Did that kind of like, I mentioned it before we kind of watched the movie here and everything, so maybe I kind of primed you for it.
You primed me for it, and I totally didn't even miss it. I mean, I totally didn't even see it. I missed it. I am just not an aspect ratio guy. Like if it goes from square to rectangle, I'll notice that. When I watched Ben-Hur when I was a kid on the old tube TV, and then they brought out the chariot race and it got super panoramic. Yeah. You notice that when your TV screen turns into a ribbon.
Because otherwise it would just be like a bunch of flash. Like, what am I even looking at?
Like, oh, boys, this movie made a lot of money for showing horse hooves. But yeah, I didn't even notice it. I am so like dumb to things I shouldn't be dumb to, but I am.
I'll say this, the movie, as far as like special effects, because that's when we go to the full widescreen aspect ratio and everything, is once we kind of have that full space reveal here and everything, and he realizes, oh, this just isn't some sort of set or whatever. I am like literally on a spaceship here and everything. Then it goes full widescreen.
Yeah.
And it looks great. Like for a movie that is 25 years old, the special effects are actually hold up pretty darn well.
And I think it also helps that they're kind of going for a little bit of a TNG aesthetic. So you give it a little bit of a pass on the effects too, because the effects aren't the purpose of the movie. Like this isn't a straightforward science fiction space adventure. So you're allowed to be a little, you're allowed to feel like it is less expensive effects, but you're not allowed to have less expensive effects. Yeah. If that makes sense at all.
Well, and that's the thing is like with the director and stuff, they said when they were kind of putting this all together, him and the writer, I think, the way that they banter together in interviews and stuff like that, I think they work pretty close together because they're both just ribbing each other constantly. I'm like, these dudes are definitely friends. Because like you wouldn't let a stranger talk about you like that.
Oh yeah.
So I'm like, these guys are buddies.
13 years of podcast experience. I know exactly the kind of ribbing you're talking
exactly. About. So there's just like, oh, okay, these guys are cool. But like they admitted, they're like, listen, we are big Star Trek fans here and everything. We love this stuff, and we just wanted to make ultimately we were like, we want to make a Star Trek movie. And that's how you have to approach this. Even though it's a comedy and stuff, try to make a good Star Trek episode and then have comedy within that. And of course, we'd find out later on that you can definitely do stuff like that with Seth MacFarlane's little sci-fi show. What was that called again? Shucks.
I can't remember the name of it, but of course you're going to be thinking about that. I mean, there's no way you can look at you with a straight face and say this wasn't an influence for that. And I didn't watch the show, but from what I understand, it went from kind of parody comedy to a straight up legit sci-fi show real quick because that's what he wanted to make, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Ultimately, it was because MacFarlane really wanted to make, a Star Trek, and they were like, we don't want to give you the keys to the kingdom here and everything. So it's like, all right, I'll make a rip-off Star Trek here and everything. And he did do it was like it was like Next Generation episodes, but with comedy in them. They were really, really good. The aesthetic, all of that sort of stuff. This follows that.
I'm sad I didn't watch it, but I know that people loved it, man. So
you got Norm as a little globby thing.
Think of the name. Say that again.
You got Norm as a little globby thing that's going around. Just, hey, man.
Oh, you can't go wrong with Norm.
But yeah, so like I love it. He comes back. He's got to convince all of his old guys here. Rickman, we haven't talked about Alan Rickman, who is absolutely
that guy
amazing.
So good. He's a guy that I can love, even if I'm not a big fan of the movie. I mean, how do you manage to just crush it and totally eat, to use the vernacular, those young kids that are the biggest fans of ours? But how do you totally eat in Harry Potter, Die Hard, and Galaxy Quest? Like that's some range on an actor right there.
And Love Actually,
director.
Don't forget that.
What's that?
Love Actually, don't forget that.
Oh, Love Actually, yeah, that belongs in the conversation more than Galaxy Quest does.
Yeah.
So, and strangely, he crushes every role while strangely kind of being the same guy. I can't explain it. That's some of the art form of acting that you just can't quantify.
You heard it here, everybody. Love Actually, Hans Gruber might as well be the same person, Bruce Leslie.
You know it, baby.
He's got that face and all. You know how that works.
He's got the fancy boy accent.
He's really great at playing, and you would imagine this, and and he even says in like some interviews and stuff like that, he's like, "Listen, I'm not gonna lie to you and tell you that I wasn't kind of pulling from some life experiences and stuff here. It's just like, listen, you're an actor, you do what you got to do, you kind of got to like roll with the punches here and everything." And he's just like, "Yeah, so I definitely pulled from some of that."
I'm going to go ahead and make a comment here as somebody who lives in multiple worlds, lives many hats, but you know what, set out to be a commentary, and I would say something to encourage and uplift the genre community, the kind of people that go to conventions, to reward you for your fandom, as Justin Long and his friends get rewarded at the end of this film for being special interest types. But also, this movie has a real strong story from the perspective of theater arts and the value of theater arts. And like, think of a theater kid as you grow up, and people are like, why you waste your time doing theater? Why you take theater so seriously? You go to that show like it's a dadgum hospital. It has to be open all the time. But then, all those skills that you learn in the theater arts are problem solving skills that you get to bring to the real world in this movie and save the day with it. I think that there's almost an unintentional story here that can be inspirational to theater kids, just like the nerd kids. And I'm one of those people where authorial intent isn't the end all be all for a movie. So I think it's got a long unintended message there. What do you think about that idea of saying, hey, acting gives you practice for real life?
Yeah. And I think it also basically, really echoes that like what art does can, have effects on people. Like this entire society caught these episodes of television. And, think back to, the original Star Trek series here and everything, and what Roddenberry tried to instill within Star Trek itself, within, the moral composition of the program and whatnot. And, all the different subjects that he, went after in different, sci-fi ways and stuff like that. If you took all of that stuff and then broadcast it out there into space, and they received, what Roddenberry's kind of idea of like the best of humanity and everything represented, in this form.
Yes.
That what would their society then be built upon, and like how art then can reflect and show how things will grow in the future. It's like, hey, this helps shape things as things go forward. We still are, influenced by Shakespeare's work today, in many subtle ways that you don't think about, but like all of it is built upon itself and stuff like that. And I think that's another fun element that like there's in a PG rated movie, the amount of angles that you can come to with what to take away from this movie is kind of crazy.
Kind of crazy that they released this as PG. I mean, in 1999, sometimes you'd go in and throw at least one F-bomb in just to get the PG-13 because the cool kids don't want to go to a PG movie. So I'm kind of proud of them for making a movie with heart and just letting the heart carry it.
Now, there is one censored F-bomb in this movie. If you watch,
so it's a PG-12.
No. I mean, it's PG, but they changed it in post. But if you watch Sigourney Weaver's mouth before the big explosion there happens, she says "what the fuck," and then they clearly change it. But you can you watch the amount of the F is clearly pronounced from her, and they cut it out.
Sigourney almost ruined the PG. They almost weren't able to show this in elementary schools because of that line.
But and that's, to me, that is kind of the fun thing here. And again, something that like rewatching it this time that I've forgotten about is that in PG movies, people used to be able to die. Like, and these aren't even animated people. You can't kill an animated person in a PG movie today. But like these are live action people in a PG movie, and there's several deaths in this movie.
I mean, when they killed Optimus Prime, did they have to get a PG-13 on that bad boy OG Transformers?
I don't know about all that.
Because I know they used the SHIT word in it.
Oh, did they? Was Starscream just dropping
You can go to it on the DVD. There's a chapter called They Say the Word or something like that, and you go straight to it, and he goes, oh,
I always like the Thundercats outtakes.
Yeah, animated outtakes of Optimus Prime faking his death.
Oh, sorry about that.
Peter Cullen actually wearing an Optimus Prime suit as he does the voice work.
But I like how, just the actual arc of Tim Allen's character here and everything. And again, talk about pulling from somebody's life here and everything. This is like just as Tim Allen is getting off of television, he's got a giant hit television show that's gone away now and everything. And you got to start thinking like, what's going to happen at this point? Am I going to do anything? Because, you're way up here. Is there a possibility that you're then going to go do the exact same thing in movies? That's pretty low. So he himself was
doing the Christmas convention circuit as Santa Claus at this point. So he's drawing on first hand. He's like, if I have to give another autograph as Santa Claus.
Too many Santa Claus gigs. I knew.
Yeah, but no, I didn't even think about that angle, that he might be drawing a little bit from his old fears of what if at the end of my career all I am is Tim the Toolman Taylor, like I'm just doing throwback spots where, isn't it cool that we're going to have him on Love Boat as a Toolman type? Yeah,
and think about but at the same time too, it comes down to think about conventions and everything of the people that are there. I'll put him up here. Anthony Daniels is numero uno to me. It's just like you're known as C-3PO. C-3PO is the thing that you've only really ever done. You've done it a whole bunch of times, thankfully for you and hopefully your pocket, it sounds like. But Anthony Daniels is a bit of a jerk. I've heard nothing but people with bad experiences with him. And when you see him,
heard that too.
When you see him in person, I've seen his kind of his speech, if you will. It is one of the most actory bullshit things you've ever heard in your entire life. It's so corny, so self-aggrandizing, and it's like, brother, you played C-3PO, man. What are you talking about? Why are you so I understand, but I understand that it's what he's got, but man, oh man, the self-importance that's there. And there's those guys, but then there's guys that are just, that are absolutely cool with it. So there's not, the guy who played Admiral Akbar was a sweetheart. That was the best guy in the world. And when we told him, said, hey, write a little word bubble above his head that says it's a trap. And he goes, listen to me. I've been doing this for 20 years. And I've been writing it's a trap on all of these things. But you're the first one ever that said put it in a word bubble. That's the weirdest little compliment, but I'll take it. It's what an odd. I'm like, all right, cool, thank you, sir. He wrote it for everybody, but I was like, put it in a word bubble. He's like, all right, sweet, word bubble.
Oh man, game recognized game is what you call that, Admiral Akbar.
It was. He's just like, I like the cut of your jib, kid. That'll be $40.
So I'll say the first half of this movie, maybe almost the first two acts, but I'm watching this movie and it's good enough. And I'm kind of taking some things away from it. I'm thinking about some themes, it's exploring, whatever. But I'm sitting here thinking this movie's just fine, but I don't get the kind of love it has for it. And then the turn happens. And for me, that turn, when this movie starts to feel a little bit special, is when you notice that Tim Allen and the rest of his castmates / crewmates actually care about the Thermians. And then that almost gives the audience permission to care about the Thermians. And then this becomes a movie and a story about saving the Thermians, not about look at these actors put in this unusual situation. And that's when it really starts to come together. And I see the appeal of this movie and why it has held such a special place for so long. Is that where it really turns for you, or do you admire it for other things more than that?
Yeah, it's a sum of all of those for sure. But they're kind of presented to you, and what a great way to introduce these characters as weird kind of bumbling alien, what we think is cosplayers and stuff like that, who have these weird voices and whatnot. And because that's what you would figure that somebody that's, being a goofus is coming around and doing. It's like, oh my gosh, all this stuff. It lends to it all perfectly. But then when we find out, like, ultimately that's what they are presenting to us, their kind of form and everything, and we find out that their form is more like wild, crazy squid-looking things that look like
Kang and
monsters.
Kronos or whatever from the Treehouse of Horror. What are those aliens called?
Yeah, Kang and Kodos.
Kodos. Okay,
Don't
Kronos
blame me.
is a totally different guy. He's like the God of War in that game, God of War. I almost couldn't think of the name of the game.
He was in there. He's that God of War, and what the hell is the name of that tank?
That's almost the road we went down, Adam. I'm not too proud to admit that. But
third base.
Anyway, yeah, that's what they look like. They're these tentacle beasts, and I started to think about all the fandoms. Well, there is that whole tentacle porn fandom when Tony Shalhoub is making out with Missy Pyle there.
Very cool effects. I love the way that looks and everything. She's the perfect person to cast for this because she's a beautiful woman, but she's also very tall and very just interesting looking. Her features are interesting. I knew people that I knew people that knew her and stuff like that were like family members or whatever. And from everything I've heard, she's the sweetest person in the world.
Is she a Carolina girl?
Yeah, she's like around the areas and stuff like that. But it was I love her. She always brings a weird, interesting energy, be it this or she was my favorite thing in the Tim Burton Willy Wonka movie and everything, where she plays the mom who does all the baton twirling and stuff like that. It's just like, what a stupid, weird character. I absolutely love it. And she's the only type of person that can play stuff like this. And I love that she's in this. She's great.
Yeah, she's good in that kind of hot in a cartoonish fashion or something.
Yes.
She plays a good character.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I can recall anything where she's had a lead. You know what I mean? It's really been built around her, but she's a great character actor.
Oh yeah. She's super fun there. Oh, we forgot to mention
Tony Shalhoub's performance in this. It's a different. I mean, of course, I think at this point people know Tony Shalhoub, pretty talented guy, but he really gives us an interesting, quiet, unconfident, understated performance here. What'd you think of him?
It's interesting, and I was watching it this time, and I was like, I saw it a little differently than previous, and I was curious. I was curious about his performance. So while watching the special features on the 4K here and everything, I found out first and foremost that I thought for sure I was watching this going like, is he playing high? Because that's what it feels like. Feels like he's stoned throughout the movie. It turns out he's not. According to them. Like he may be some sort of weird burned out on everything, but also he's playing a guy who's playing an Asian character in his Star Trek ripoff.
I noticed that his officer name, his character name was like Quan.
Yeah.
And I started to think, wait, are we supposed to believe Tony Shalhoub's Asian?
Yes and no. No, in as much as his character is playing someone who is playing Asian. That's why he's going like in his like close up and everything. He's squinting really hard, and it looks all awkward and weird. It's so strange. But then you go to
that part's a weird choice. That part I'm going to just say is a weird choice.
He didn't, but like even he was like in the interviews and stuff. He's like, listen, I was like, this is like an Asian character. I'm not playing an Asian character. And then like somebody kind of explained the idea, and he's like, oh, like he put it together. It's like, all right, I think I can do that. That makes a little bit more. It's like Robert Downey Jr. playing blackface in Tropic Thunder. It's like, all right, listen, if you can kind of wrap your head around why you're doing it, you can make some sense of it.
Yeah, it's just I just found it funny, but I guess at least with Tony Shalhoub, you can say, well, there's some ethnicity there, so you can't come down on us as hard as if it was RDJ.
Yeah, but such a weird and strange performance. Like on the ship is going down here and everything, and everybody's freaking out, and he's over here like eating snacks. Just stupid little things like that. Just a great weird performance overall. Sam Rockwell, amazing as always.
So that was the next person I was going to mention to you, is Sam Rockwell. Shouldn't be any surprise at this point to anyone, but he totally disappears in the performance. And I believe that he is like this guy that's an actor who, nice enough guy, but just didn't really have much charisma. So he didn't make it very far in the business. Like, I'm believing it all. Like, I'm thinking, man, this feels like a character that you easily would have wanted to cast Ethan Hawke for at this time.
Yeah.
Or I could see Matt Dillon doing it, but putting Sam Rockwell in it, you just elevate it to a whole nother level.
That's true. I never really thought of those two as kind of being possible sort of, maybe not replacements or whatever, but kind of analogs that could have definitely worked in
People
that.
who could have been cast in that role and done a fine job. Sam Rockwell's just so good, man.
He's kind of perfect. I love the mustache and everything, and his just wild and over the top reactions to all this sort of stuff. But again, another character that like learns stuff and learns things about himself and everything. Everyone in here has a little bit of something going on. Everyone learns a little something about themselves. But it never feels like it's an after school special.
Yeah, it all feels very natural, organic. None of it's forced. They let you kind of come to conclusions on your own instead of forcing them upon you. You know what I mean? Like a little, I wouldn't call it subtle storytelling, but they give you the credit to figure out what they're saying, and they don't have to have somebody else look over and say, oh, wow, I actually do care about these guys now. Yeah,
exactly. And you go from especially with Tim Allen's character and everything, you go from hating this guy because he's a complete and utter D-bag to him kind of redeeming himself. It's a Wonderful Life kind of deal where he's, realizes oh, maybe I don't have to be a turd.
And they do have some fun scenes. I mean, this movie is a comedy and they do give us a few chuckles here and there. I really liked it when Alan Rickman's character has that real heroic moment where him and the Thermian manage to save the people. And when they open it, they all give credit to the captain or the commander or whatever. They're like, oh, the commander has saved us. And I like their little vertical or horizontal clapping rather than vertical because they're tentacled beasts. And when they walk into the room as a group, you see them using their arms to let you know that there are tentacles up there we're not seeing.
There were a lot of just very smart things that they were thinking about. And like you said, our main kind of villain here and everything, what an awesome costume and everything that they've done with this sort of thing. And we're at that time where this is probably one of the few last times you're going to have a real honest to God, amazing looking costume and stuff like this. Because it's just going to be CG these days, mostly.
And, I wonder if they just took that, modified a little bit, and you had Psycho Gorman. But that costume's too good to go to waste. Give it to some people who want to make some movies in their backyard, people.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful one.
So good. Well articulated, and everything about it just is very, very cool.
And kind of practical thing you don't expect to see these days, but if you stick around for the Dinger Zone, you'll see you still can.
Yeah, and then all the spaceships and everything, it all looked so good. That's the thing is they treated it like an honest to God sci-fi movie here and everything, and then they just added in all the comedy. They said, let's make a good Star Trek movie that's not a Star Trek movie, and we'll just add comedy into it. And by God, it worked, and at a PG level, no less.
And didn't that feel like the most Captain Kirk solution to the plan there at the end? I mean, it felt like a Star Trek solution where, yeah, we're unarmed, but we're dragging all these mines with us. So we're going to bring you down with your own weapon. That's the kind of poetic thing that would happen in a well-written Star Trek movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that was always kind of the fun
Kirk
thing
maneuver.
is the solution was always kind of well, what did we do? What did we do on the show? How do we fix our current situation now based upon things that we've done in the past? It's again, more levels of stuff that they are putting onto this thing that I think, and because it's PG rated in here and everything, I think a lot of kids should see this because there's some good lessons in here that aren't hitting you over the head, but boy, are clear enough that I think, any 10, 11-year-old's going to watch this and go oh yeah, I might learn a little something.
There's no shortage of kids out there who are overlapping between being theater kids and being genre fans. If you got one of those kids, man, they're going to love this movie because it really speaks to both sides of who they are there. So this is wonderful.
And if you got a young man, he's really going to enjoy Sigourney Weaver in this film because, my word.
It'll be nice to get him a little bit geared up so he doesn't have an outright heart attack when he sees her in her underwear and Alien.
Yeah, exactly. Give him brace him a little bit ahead of time here. She's fantastic in this movie. From all accounts, she was having probably the most fun on set. She did a giant. Oh yeah. There is a video of her and Sam Rockwell and what's his name, Dennis, the black guy. They are doing a rap birthday card for her agent. like
Oh,
all in their
wow.
outfits here and everything. And like they wrote this rap and they performed it and everything since 1999. You get it. But like,
Nobody spits sick bars like Sigourney Weaver.
oh, it was kind of weird because her Rockwell, everybody's got a verse, man. Everybody's got at least one verse in there. Like for what it is, you're like, all right, listen, it could be a heck of a lot worse than what we got out of here. They had professional cameras shoot a little video and edit it all for up. I was like, man, if you're her agent, that's going to be like, that's pretty damn sweet. But she was having a great time on the set. It sounds like.
You mentioned the guy who was the navigator, the black guy. I think, was he from Psych? Was he the guy on Psych, or am I going to just expose myself as somebody who can't tell the difference between black actors?
Oh, listen, you're talking to the wrong fella over here. I never saw Psych, so I could not tell you, but I'll quickly flip through.
Well, anyway, I like the idea that he's kind of the Will Wheaton of this cast. You know what I mean? That's a little bit of that TNG infusion.
Mm-hmm.
There. You take Will Wheaton, you make him a black guy. You take Uhura, you make her Sigourney Weaver. It's, playing around with it where everything's not too spot on.
Look, he's been in 50 things, so he's been in a million things that you've seen, but you just won't remember it. Anyways, but yeah, he's really great. The whole thing, again, one of these times where you just kind of walk in and you're like, how could this movie be all that great? If you look from the surface of it, like I said, it's a tough sell to somebody to be like, hey, it's this old kind of next generation Star Trek thing, but I swear it's really, really good. It's a tough one to tell people, but man, once you get in there, boy, it certainly holds up. And Tim Allen is fantastic in it. It may be one of the best things he's ever done.
Yeah, I would say, especially to younger folks, not that necessarily this message will get out to many younger folks.
Oh,
but,
they're here. They're here.
Yeah. Look past Tim Allen and give this movie a chance if you have some negative connotations about him. And, he kind of has a sort of playing into a grumpy old white man aesthetic these days, but this was 1999 and he gave a good performance.
Hey, who amongst us isn't a grumpy old person at some point? You know what I'm saying?
I'm only grumpy when it matters.
I'm only grumpy when it rains. Wasn't that a garbage song? No, wait.
I think so. Wait, no, it was backwards.
It was close. So let's get into it here. Bruce, what's your final star review for Galaxy Quest?
It's tough for me because even though I found it entertaining in the beginning, it didn't entirely pass the phone test until it grabbed my heartstrings there towards the end. But a strong ending. I mean, it's like anything else. Doesn't matter how you start off, it's how you finish that really counts. And it does have a strong ending. I felt like it lacked, there's a lot of interesting things and a lot of creativity in this movie, but I felt like the payoff on Chekhov's Omega-13 felt a little unsatisfying or forced.
Yeah, but at the same time too, that was like that's absolute Star Trek bullcrap that that totally works. And I don't know, as dumb and corny and Ghost in the Machine, as it were, for everything that just kind of gets you out of this jam. It's corny and I like it. I don't know why. It's
I'm gonna go 3.75, just short of 4.
My word, 3.75. For me, Galaxy.
No, I'll go 4. I feel bad now when I hear that out loud. I'll go 4.
He's a generous man. I feel like I can't not go 5 stars on this. It's not a movie that I watched like religiously or anything. I'd seen it like, I think when it first came out on video, and then maybe one other time, and then it'd been just a very long stretch of not seeing it, and seeing it again here on the. Bronson's trying to hit me
now.
On the 4K here and everything with this brand new transfer. It looks fantastic, and like it felt like being in a 11th grader again.
You know who else gave this movie 5 stars?
Who's that?
David Mamet. It's one of his 4 favorite films. Right. Sweet Shanzi wanted to make sure we didn't forget that David Mamet, and I'll be daggone if I didn't forget it until just right this minute. But I don't remember do you remember the other 3 films David Mamet liked? It was like, I don't know, it wasn't Gone with the Wind, but
but it was like Sense and Sensibility epic. Or some crap like that. And then you're like, and Galaxy Quest.
Yeah, it like starts out Birth of a Nation. No, it's not that. There's something. There's
real smart things that you would tell Letterboxd in an interview to make yourself sound smart and everything. If that ever comes to me, they're just getting the most obvious answers in the world, and I'm going to be like, yeah, I'm not ashamed of any of that. Shut up. I'm not put on airs for you buttholes. But until they say your top 4 for like a specific genre or something like that, can tell I've worked out any situation where the letterbox people show up. I've got answers ready for them.
I think you could ask me once a week for 52 consecutive weeks, and I would not have the same answer any given week. So that's my problem.
Yeah, listen, consistency. You gotta have at least a little bit of it.
I'm consistently inconsistent.
Always. So did I say 5 stars? Yeah, I'm going to go 5 stars on this bad boy. It's a delight. And again, this feels like you could just kind of put this on even in the background kind of movie. Even if you're not fully paying attention, you can look at all the cool moments and stuff like that. And there's enough fun that's going on with it. Like I said, Sam Rockwell just kind of stealing the show and everything, just as what a great character that's, referencing just the guy that we all know that's in there for like 3 seconds, but builds his entire career and life and everything on it. And then, but still kind of wants to get somewhere. I love it. It's good stuff.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Well, folks, we got more stuff coming at you because next week, Sean Loves Spaceships continues. Will Sean be here? Who's to say? Who knows? But we're going to be checking out High Life from, I want to say it was 2018, if memory serves.
Never heard of it, man. It just totally missed me.
This is, it was a very independent kind of feature and everything. We saw it in a little art house background. I'll talk all about that last week because it was an interesting experience and everything. And we'll get into High Life, a Robert Pattinson movie. I tell you what, man, when Robert Pattinson was hitting in the twilight and everything, everybody was just like, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. And I was just like, I don't know about all of this, but man, he's been putting out some amazing stuff post Twilight to where it's just like that dude can just do whatever he wants at this point. I'm kind of on board with checking out whatever he's doing.
I like him as Batman. I haven't seen The Lighthouse though, but I did like that Mickey 17.
So I want you to also see Good Time. That's the one from the Safdie brothers. A spoiler alert, not a good time.
So the Safdie brothers made a film with Pattinson?
Yeah, that was a big one. Like low budget, it's nothing. He plays like kind of a bank robber and a bad guy and stuff like that. It is a fantastic movie. You'll probably just watch it once. But
are you looking forward to the Safdies with The Rock?
Yeah, man. If there's anybody that can do it, like I'll take. It's only one of the brothers, so we only got half the team. But if there's anybody that can put The Rock over into something that might be good, it might be a Safdie brothers. This one's by and here's to say nobody says that HMP isn't diverse and everything. This is a Claire Dennis movie, so this is a lady. We got a lady director on this and everything. So we're diversifying ourselves, folks. We're not only going to space, we're doing it with the ladies. That sounded dirtier than I wanted it to. That is it, everybody. Join us next week for High Life. Bruce, what else? Plug some stuff here before I get everything ready.
Come check out my TikTok. I put up one TikTok a week. You can count on it. You can set your calendar to it. So come check it out. It's Bruce Leslie AD on TikTok.
And, of course, you can check out all of our other stuff, my TikTok, HMP's Instagram, and, of course, follow us on Facebook, all of those fun things. We really appreciate all of you guys. We are over 20,000 subscribers on YouTube, everybody. Thank you guys so much for making that happen. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Comment on this episode, because I want to do it at the end of the episode to see how far people get. I don't think we'll ever see any of these comments. So what do you want the secret word to be in the comments, Bruce?
Barnschnoggle.
You got to make it something they can fucking write, dude.
Corn.
All right, so write the word corn in the comments if you made it this far in the thing. I just want to see. I don't think we'll have any. I just it's an experiment. So check us out there. All the links are in the show notes for everything. That is it, everybody. Join us with the possible Sweet Shanta Kovacs next week for High Life from 2018 for the absent Sweet Shanta Kovacs from the internet. Bruce Leslie, I'm Adam Porters, reminding you to get out there and watch some space movies, you dirty babies.
I can't help it. I get a belly laugh every time.